So you just started playing chess and you want to reach your first milestone, to reach 1,000 rating on chess.com. How do you go about it? Well, I'll tell you the fastest way to reach 1,000 rating on chess.com.
So, hey guys, I'm Navneet from the team of Chess Gaja, and I'm here to explain you concepts of chess, especially to those of you who are absolute beginners at this game.
Well, here's tip number one. And if you follow this, you're already good to go. Just don't blunder. I mean, I'm sure if you have played a few games, all of you have seen this position once, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the scholar's mate. If you have made this blunder, it's fine. We learn from our mistakes. Just don't do it again. Just don't let the queen hit this pawn. I mean, this is an absolute blunder that many of us do. I have done it 1,000 times. I don't know how many times I have been mated in this very position before I learned that, oh, I should I should stop my opponent from attacking this pawn. So yeah, the first rule of chess is to look out for what blunders you might make. Before making a move, just look once or twice if there is a piece hanging, there is a queen hanging, there is a checkmate hanging, and then try to think about two or three moves in advance. But for now, if you are only targeting 1,000 rating, just look out for if your pieces are hanging or if anything wrong is happening to you. The next important idea would be to just think in their shoes, think in your opponent's shoes, right? So, for example, in this particular situation, let's say white decides to go for queen d2. I mean, as black, do you really take this queen? Because if you are thinking about your own self, if you are thinking about, oh, I'll take the queen and white would trade the rook for a queen with me and then I'll be at an advantage, that's stupidity. Always try to think what your opponent is thinking, and that will really help you, right? So always assume your opponent is not dumb, and then white choose this move. So he might have a trap behind it, or he might have blundered. Of course, that's a possibility, but your first consideration should be he has a trap behind it. And in this situation, if black decides to take, then it's a simple back rank checkmate. I mean, of course, you could try defending it till two moves, but it's still a mate. The queen will go to e8, the rook will take it, the rook will go back to d8, and the rook will still take it, and it will be a forced checkmate. So, yes, in situations like this, always think what was the purpose of your opponent to move that piece to that particular place. The next strategy is to use CCT or checks, captures, and threats. So essentially, if you are in the middle of a game and you don't really know how to proceed, you don't really have a larger plan for the picture, you could just look out for checks, captures, and threats in this particular descending order. And I would like to show you an example for this. For example, in this particular position, you could, yes, there are many checks available, there are many threats available, and a few captures available as well. For example, a threat might be going back here to, threaten this bishop to move out. A capture might be just taking this particular bishop. But there are checks as well, and checks are more useful than captures and threats, of course. The rules are, very much bendable, but for now, for going till 1,000 elo, I mean, there's a beautiful check here. If you could see, uh, bishop to a3 check is a very important move. Why? Because this particular file is closed off, the entire d file, the king can't come here. The king can't go back because the knight is guarding that position. The knight is guarding this position as well, and this diagonal is also blocked by the bishop itself. So the only thing black can do is just sacrifice itself. It can keep sacrificing until it's actually a checkmate. So in this particular position, the check was itself a forced checkmate kind of thing. But in many other positions, checks are really useful. Why? Because they give you a tempo. A tempo is what we, what you could essentially say is, you know, kind of an advantage, or I mean, I am deciding how the game would go. If I keep on giving checks to my opponent, I am really the one who decides, oh, the opponent would go here, then here, then here, and you could even make the king run for it. So yeah, checks, captures, and threats are a good strategy to go by. And the last strategy, I don't really need to show you an example for that, but that would be to keep your king safe. Just castle early and try not to move your king out a lot in the middle game. So yeah, these were the four main ideas about how to reach 1000 elo fast. Checks, capture, threats. Don't move your king out in the beginning of the game. Don't blunder pieces just right away. And try to think of what your opponent might be thinking, and you're good to go. Just play a lot of games, learn from your mistakes, and you'll be there at 1000 rating on chess.com really quickly. So that was it for today, guys. If you want to watch more such content, subscribe to Chess Gaja. And if you want to watch anything in particular, please drop a comment below, and we'll definitely make a video on that topic.